of 222 cities per linear meter. Okay, so that is give you an idea. Okay, bearing in mind that our fence wall is about 12 foot high. Guys, welcome to Asher and Gad channel, making Africa home again, one family at a time. Welcome again to another episode of Asher and Gad. Today, what we're talking about today, we're talking all about tracking your build cost. Okay, very, very important topic. Obviously, if you don't track your money wisely, then you're going to lose some money or lose control as your building goes from one stage to the other. So we're going to talk about briefly about BOQ, the cost estimates per stage in terms of, the actual budget and the actual spend, okay, and how you track it all the way through. And I'll share with you how I tracked it, how I keep on tracking it, and the template that I use as well. We'll probably pick one or two items to show you examples of, and to get so you can get a bit more feel of what the cost has been for us. Anyway, now, before I even go any further, I'd like to say this disclaimer. Now, obviously, our costs are example cost, okay? And I guess it would help you if you're building out there, if you apply maybe a cost per square meter or cost per linear meter to give you an idea of your own build. But there are several factors that go into construction. Hence, it's only an idea, because yours may be far more expensive than mine, or cheaper than mine, depending on a number of factors. Depending on who's building it, depending on the location of your building. If you're up a mountain, obviously that's going to be much different to mine. Number of different factors which will really tell you what your overall cost. So this is really just an idea, but more of a principle of how to manage your project financially. So I hope this helps. Let's get straight into this. So after you obtain your architectural plans and your structural plans, the best thing I would suggest you do is to submit those plans to an experienced quantity surveyor, QS for short, for him or her to undertake and to do what we call a BOQ, okay? That is your bill of quantities. In simple terms, a bill of quantities is just a financial assessment of how much the person feels your project will cost you from a materials and a labor point of view, all in cost, okay? And it's important to get them to do it stage by stage, yeah, to give you an idea of what your overall spend is going to be. And also, an indication of time would be good as well. Some QSs can give you an indication of time, although obviously that you always have to temper that with sort of the Ghanaian market and the Ghanaian artisans, to give yourself some contingency. But it's just an idea. What I would say is, don't be too scared or frightened by the overall figure that you may see. In our situation, we when we looked at the overall figure, it was significant, very, very significant. And we didn't have that money at that time. But what we had is, we had about 70% of the overall figure we needed to construct the main house. Okay, we had about 70%, and that was enough to get started. Okay, it was enough to get the dream started. And look where we are now. I've got a little video coming up on your screen. 17 months ago, this is what our land looked like. Okay, that is 17 months ago. All bushy, okay, big trees in the middle, big challenge, but you have to have the faith to move on. Now look at the picture on your screen. Look how far we've come by the grace of the Most High. Yeah. So have faith. If you want to do it, it has a lot of benefits. Just go for it. Don't wait for to see all the money in your account. Just go for it. If you have enough percentage, go for it. The longer you wait, the worse it will become. Things are getting more and more expensive, iron rods, etc., etc. So just go for it. All right. So like I said, really try and get the BOQ to be in a stage by stage basis. We did a stage A to a stage F. Okay, stage A being the foundation to the ground slab. B being, if I remember correctly, stage B was let's say the walls, the ground floor walls, and stage C was the decking of the ground floor. In Ghana, they call it flow. the decking, as well as the first floor walls up to the roof. Then stage D was the roof itself. Okay, stage E, I believe, was tiling, and then stage F was finishing installations, which is still ongoing. Okay, those were our main sort of 6 stages of the build. But in addition to those 6 stages, we also had sort of separate pieces of work packages which we separated out, and I'll show you some examples later on. For example, we separated out the fence wall because it was done by somebody else. We separated out the septic tank because it was just a separate cost. So those, we did that because that suited the way our builder went about the construction, or was going to go about the construction. So you have to tailor it to suit your project as you go along. Okay, now, as I said already, it is important to have your budget estimate from the BOQ initially for each stage on your Excel spreadsheet with your materials and your estimated labor, and then track it on a monthly basis. If say stage C is going to take you 2 or 3 months, track it on a monthly basis. This is what I've spent in January, okay, February, March, and therefore this is my actual expenditure at the end of stage C. Compare that to what your budget was, and then you know whether obviously you're in credit or whether you're in debt. You know also, this is another key thing, the materials you have left over, because in some stages you may have extra material left over that can be transferred to the next stage. I remember vividly that when we finished stage A, which is foundation to ground, we had quite a lot of blocks left over, which is transferred onto stage B. So on my stage B spreadsheet, the materials for the blocks was significantly reduced, almost to probably 30% of the anticipated cost, because we had materials left over. If you don't do that, then you're not tracking the materials. If some materials go missing on the site, you haven't got an accountability for it. This is your money. Protect your asset and understand the financial tracking as you go along. So let's look at an example on your screen. I've got an example on your screen, and I've taken sort of stage C as an example. So let me just go through my laptop to bring up stage C as we talk through it briefly. So my stage C, we called our stage C the decking, if you like, of the ground floor or high level ground floor slab, and the walls from the first floor to the roof. Okay, that was our main stage C. So you can see on your screen, okay, we have a number of items. You have the continuation pillars, because they're pillars, obviously they're pillars or columns which are on the lower levels and has to continue all the way to the roof. So we have continuation pillars, the various sizes of iron rods, binding wire, the actual lintel concrete, okay, that goes above the windows and above the doors, the actual decking material itself, the concrete and iron rods, the cement that we anticipated using, i.e. the budget for it, obviously the material, the sand, both rough and quarry dust, okay, and also the scaffold that we used, various electrical items and plumbing materials, which we obviously had to put the conduits through the walls, etc. So picking up a few examples, let's look at the continuation pillars. For example, 16mm iron rods. So we had the budget of 4,800 Ghana cedis, but the actual spend, which was in January 2021, was 4,142 Ghana cedis. So therefore, we have the variance or a saving of 658 Ghana cedis there, which can go somewhere else. Okay, picking another example, okay, on your screen, the cement, 42.5 hour cement that we use, we had a budget for this stage of 11,400 Ghana cedis, but the actual spend was 7,544 Ghana cedis. So again, a surplus that could go into the next stage or somewhere, or some other material in that same stage. As an overall, as you can see on your screen, the overall budget for our stage C was 118,030 Ghana cedis, but the actual spend was significantly over in this particular stage, and that was 164,691 Ghana cedis. Okay, a significant overspend on this stage, which really in a way offset stage A and B, which had more savings to it. So swings and roundabouts, highs and lows, but the most important thing is to have a good way of managing the process and keeping your eyes open on the ground to see what is going on. Now, I spoke to many people who are building in Ghana, and sometimes, you have to keep your eye on the ground. You have to have a caretaker. Sometimes you can get some small things here where they go missing. Not significant. We haven't really had too much of an issue there, but just keep this. All this helps to keep your eye on the ground when this is going on. Now, another reason why it's important to have a good financial plan up front and to track it regularly is because there are some artisans who you have a long-term relationship with. Okay, let me pick one example of mine. The guy who's doing an electric fence is the same guy who's doing an automated gate for the roof and the front gate and the security system. So he gave a quotation in the beginning. Okay, we paid him probably about 70% up front, and we've been paying him bits and pieces as we go along. And here's the tip: every time we pay him, we prefer to pay by MOMO, which means mobile money transfer. You get the receipt onto your phone and we copy and paste it onto his WhatsApp. That way everything is trackable. There is no confusion whatsoever. Later on down the line, somebody says, oh, you haven't paid me this or you paid me less, and don't want any of those conversations. Everything is tracked above board. We know what we've paid him. We know what's outstanding. Stage payments, everything is tracked. So that is my recommendation to you guys who are building as well. Okay. Leftover materials can be a huge saving. If you are a subscriber to our channel, you know that on the unoccupied plot, for example, we've got probably about 250 to 300 blocks. They're mainly some 6-inch solid quarry dust blocks, but I think the majority are 5-inch hollow blocks. So in the future, if you plan to do a further development in that area, then there we have leftover materials which we can offset the future cost. Okay, that would also go in the budget sheet. Okay, so like I said, it's very, very important. Either you're managing your project yourself or somebody else is managing it, but there needs to be a financial accountability so that your money doesn't go down the drain, or you know exactly where it's going at all times. Okay, every little helps, every little counts. Every little counts to an accumulated figure. Okay, so the structure of the sheet I use, it basically is an Excel sheet, a number of obviously formulas in there to suit my project. We have a front sheet which is like a summary sheet that gives the summary expenditure as well as the summary budgets for each stage and the dedicated items. Okay, from the beginning all the way to the end, or all the way to where we are now. So I update this sheet on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis, depending on how busy activities are on the site. Okay, don't want to lose track. So the summary sheet, and after the summary sheet, we have also, if you like, an income sheet, which shows the amount of money that I've put in or that we've put into the project. So at the end of the day, we'll know our total investment, so to speak. Okay. Then after that, we have got the breakdown of stage A to F. Every stage, like the example stage C I showed earlier, having its budget and actual cost and monthly expenditure, because a stage may be 2 or 3 months. Every time there's an expenditure, it's recorded and everything is well understood. However, let's look at a couple of examples outside the stages, because as I said earlier, we separated out the septic tank, which is on your screen, and we also separated out the fence wall. Okay, so because the reason why we separated out the fence wall, it was because that wasn't actually done by the main builder. Because we wanted to move quickly, whilst the main builder was focusing on the actual home, we had other masons and other laborers focus on the fence wall. Hence the reason why it was a separated out item. But let's look at the fence wall as a dedicated spreadsheet on the template. So that's on your screen right now. Let's go through that briefly. Let's just show you how much our fence wall cost. It can help to give you a budget comparison only. Remember that I said every project is different. All right, so in terms of the fence wall, our plot is 2 plots and extra. Okay, so if we were to consider the entire length of the plot, if you like, so all the four sides, it would probably be a total, I've written it down, of about 570 feet all around, which is approximately 175 meters. Okay, that's the complete perimeter lengthwise. Okay, if you look at your sheet, I've got two separated into two halves. So the first half is really the materials, if you like, the block work, which was 5-inch quarry dust blocks for the fence wall. Okay, the iron rods, the steel bender that we use, the masonry. Okay, and again, we've got all the prices there, the carpentry, the materials, rough sand, quarry, and again, there are formulas in there which account for the transfer of materials from the other stages because there was leftovers, transport of materials, and all in all, that came to 24,932 Ghana cedis for that stage. Then for that stage of the fence wall, which is building the fence wall from the ground upwards, okay, then there was another cost for actually plastering the fence wall, which is also on your screen now, okay. And again, obviously cement, workmanship of 7,500 Ghana cedis for 175 meters of fence wall. So you can do a comparison there for yourself. The masons, of course, the laborers and the materials, that came to a 13,861 Ghana cedis. So the total cost for my fence wall, right, building the wall, plastering as it stands now, okay, no painting, is about 38,793 Ghana cedis. Okay, and if I'm to divide that into the total length of the fence wall, 175 meters, okay, you are talking about, for our specific unique project, okay, of 222 cedis per linear meter. Okay, so that is, give you an idea. Okay, bearing in mind that our fence wall is about 12 foot high also. Okay, because obviously the higher it is, then obviously you have more blocks, that factors into it as well. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Another quick example, again, coming up on your screen, guys. I'm just scrolling to my laptop whilst I discuss that with you, is the septic tank. Okay, this was also a separated out cost because we had two teams working in parallel, main house and septic tank at the same time. Okay, so we had to separate that out. That's our decision. You may decide to do something different. And again, there was transfer of materials from one stage to the other. All of this work, if you have a good project manager, that same project manager can be managing the trades as well as managing the finances, okay, for you. Or you do it yourself. It's entirely up to you. So the septic tank, as you can see on your screen, with all the materials, the workmanship, the transport, the water, everything. Because at that stage, okay, our water system installation was not complete, okay. And if you want to understand the water system design, which is my design, works very well. If you want to understand the water system, click up here and watch our water system video, okay. So, coming back to the point I was making, when we were constructing the septic tank, the water system wasn't ready yet. So we had to buy water outside for construction. And you can see every trip was about 40 Ghana cedis. I can't remember how many liters we got. It was about 40 Ghana cedis. Obviously, you need water for the cement and the construction. So the total cost of our septic tank, and again, I can't remember the dimensions off the top of my head, but if you want to know the exact dimensions of our septic tank, click up here, and that video gives you the exact dimensions of our septic tank. But the total cost is, or was, 15,118 Ghana cedis for our septic tank. Materials and labor, workmanship, all in. Okay? So hopefully that will help you guys to give you an idea of, what you could potentially be going into if you are building or decide to build. It's wonderful to build. It's obviously there are challenges, but that's that's part of it. You just take it as it comes, and you just solve the problems as they come. But if you think that initially we're going to buy a property, we saw a 4-bedroom house on a half a plot in Apollonia. It's about $190,000 okay, on half a plot, okay, and for that same value, okay, for that same value, approximately that same value, you can get what we have, which we have more than 2 plots. So that's 4 times the land size, and a house that is far superior in space, in size, and even in finishing, okay, or design, far superior than what we had at Apollonia. And you have all that land to do further developments, which can be a greater source of income generating streams for you and your family in the future. So it is well worth it, I would say, if you have the heart for it, if you have the time, okay, and everything else that comes with it. A trusted person, if you're not on the ground and can visit regularly, then I would say it's well worth it, because 17 months in, and yeah, we're happy overall. Definitely happy. Okay, so people have been emailing me a lot to ask for, how do I track the finances? Can I give them a template? So this was the main driver of me doing this. So if you're interested in the financial template, click on the link below, or the link in the description. Actually, there's a link in the description where you can download the document, which is a template that you can use for your own financial management throughout the process. The summary sheet, the income sheet, and the stages, and obviously anything else you want to separate out. You can obviously get this and then tailor it to suit your project, because every project is unique and every project is different. Guys, so far as the Excel template is concerned, you need to tailor it to suit your project. However, I have left some data in there to give you a head start with some of the formulas in terms of the budget, the actual spend, and especially the variance, obviously, so you can know how to transfer from one stage to the other, okay? Just to give you a head start to help you out. But you have to tailor the spreadsheet. It's a template. Tailor it to suit your project, and I'm sure it'll be of use to you. Okay, guys, well, I hope that was useful. As usual, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so that you can always be aware when we upload our useful educational videos for your viewing pleasure. Before I go, I met a lovely subscriber the other day at Absa Bank, and it's always nice to meet appreciative subscribers, and he gave a lot of good feedback how it was helping him. He's from the UK as well and wanting to retire, so that was really nice to interact with him, and so that was great. So all you lovely subscribers, we appreciate you. Keep on watching, keep on sharing, keep on liking, and we will do our best to keep on bringing valuable content to those who are building. As we go along, as we move in, like I've said before, there are more and more videos to come in construction. But we'll probably set up a sister channel which will have other diverse material, vlogging and other things that will come in time. But there's so much more to come when it comes to construction. All right, so I'll say Clemency on behalf of God, and for me, guys, Yebeshia. See you next time.